Aloha and good Tuesday morning, everyone. As we head into Tuesday, everything is working. Came into the session on Monday about 95% long, about 5-10% right around there, long leveraged hedges. Following Monday's session, half sell signals on most of the stock related hedges, full sell signals on all the volatility related hedges. Hopefully, since any of that cash that got raised intraday, I then used to purchase the new long positions. And funny enough, they did terrible on Monday. 3 new long positions, 3 stinkers. Quite surprising for such a strong update. Now, the good news is I'm long a ton of stocks, and almost everything went up. Once again, the only stocks that did not move higher on Monday were the new long positions. So let's just review those really quick. CSX, it's fine. My first cut loss level is still just below 49.36. Then the 50-day moving average. Volume was lighter than the session before, at least on CSX. That is the one good thing. Then there was CBL. Got very lucky on this. Did not purchase it in my margin account. Did not have the cash on hand in my cash account. But when those hedges started to trigger off, CBL started to sell off, and it gave me a much better entry. I got long CBL right around where you see it close, 973. That's where my limits got filled. So my first cut loss level is now 968. It moves below 968, I'll be out a half. And my initial final cut loss level is 958, but since 968 is now my first cut loss level, my final cut loss level will just be that little low right there, 929. So move below 928, I'll be all out. However, if CBL fails 968, whatever the next low a day is, that will more than likely, whatever Tuesday session is, will be my new low a day if the half stop triggers on Tuesday. And then also there's ACTA, beautiful pocket pivot point add signal, a hint that it might not be ready to really fully explode higher. Do you notice how the green bop here is lower than the green bop right here? Kind of a mini red flag, not that big of a deal, but with the reversal on Monday, my first cut loss level now gets moved up a half cent. A move below 1380, I'll be out a half, and I'm still going to keep my final cut loss level this low right here. But if we fail this low right here, 1375, 1370 on heavier volume, and we do not breach 1335, whatever that new low will be the final cut loss level since it lost its green bop. Now, I only have 2 new long positions for Tuesday, and neither one are screaming new buys. Great signals though. EXCU was in 2 of my volume surge scan, my highest surge scan daily volume surge, which looks for the stocks that move the most on the day on the highest volume, well above average. There was only 18 stocks that made the daily volume surge scan. This was one of them. It was also my price volume BOP surge scan, and then it was in my max green BOP for 5 days scan. Pocket pivot point signal right off the 50-day moving average. Bullish hammer candle over candle pattern. Full confirmation with the BOP. Pretty clear cut loss levels if we're wrong. My first stop, a move below 49.34, and then I'll use where there's still green BOP in these lows, 48.99, and move below 48.99, I'll be completely out of EXCU. The parent company is EXC. As you can see, it's bouncing nicely off the 200-day moving average, but nothing too good. EXCU is kind of a low beta stock. I don't expect much out of it. However, if we can get a measured move similar to the lows, I'm looking for at least a 13% move. And if all hell goes wrong and it fails, I'm looking at a 1.5% loss. So no matter what, I'm looking at an 8-to-1 potential reward to inherent risk overall trade setup. I'll take that any day. It's just a signal. Now, if you have a smaller account size or pay a lot in commissions, and if you're looking for trades that I consider perfect, definitely not one of them. EXCU is a signal, and a signal is a signal is a signal in my system. It's in 3 of my scans. That's a 3% long signal. EXCU going long. 49.95 will be my limit. First cut loss level here. Final cut loss level there. And then also AAOI. AAOI is not only a Cancelim quality stock, but a few sessions ago, and I can't figure out why because it's over 40, I have a perfect speculator scan that picks up stocks above 40 but below 50, and I really think AAOI should have been in it on April 20th, but either I completely missed it and didn't recognize it was perfect speculator, and or it actually wasn't. But either way, it's Cancelim quality. It was in my Cancelim scan today. It was in my perfect speculator scan today. it made my price volume BOP surge scan. It made my green volume a scan. I got to get my book out. I can't remember all the scans it made, and I got it right here, and I want to mention all of them that it made. I thought I could memorize it all, but I was wrong. AAOI made the CanSlim, Perfect Speculator, daily volume surge, just like EXCU, price volume BOP scan, and the BOP scan. So it's a total of a 7% long signal, but since it's an add signal, it gets cut in half. So 3.5% long signal to go with that original 3% long signal. However, it didn't matter because it gapped up below, above 44.35. The low was 44.75. So the next day, try to get long at 44.75, and instead we got another buy signal. Now me, I don't have a position all cashed out, so I'll be trying to get long. If I can get long, I'll be working a limit order at 48.89. My first cut loss with this add signal is 44.75. A move below 44.75, I'm out of half. A move below 42.43, I'm out of all. Now remember, on this support signal on 420, the first cut loss is 42.43 and the final cut loss is 40.28. With the add signal, 42.43 is the final stop and 44.75 is the first stop. You could also use 45.83 as your first stop if you have a really heavy position, because there's a lot of inherent downside risk, 20%. But once again, look at the previous measured move from May to March, 550%. So we're looking at a very, very juicy, like 20 to 1 plus reward to potential reward to inherent risk. But like I said, doubt it moves that much, but still, this is one of the best stocks in the overall market. So if I can get long, I want to get long. It'll just be a reduced position size for me, because ideally I would have liked to have gotten long at 44.35. Maybe it'll pull back on low volume to 44.35 and maintain max green BOP. If it does, it's a screaming buy. But up here, it's just got to be a caution measured buy. But technically, it's a 3.5% add signal. And chances are EXCU and AAOI might gap up, because once again, futures are up as I write this, but they're starting to sell off a little bit. On my other screen, I'm seeing Russell 2000 is up 0.38%, NASDAQ 100 is up 0.20%, S&P 500 0.17%, and the Dow is up 0.25%, but that rut being up almost 0.40% is a pretty good indication that AAOI and EXCU might gap up in the morning. But we'll see. If they do, whatever. Don't chase. Let them come back to you. Rule number 1, always cut your losses when you're wrong. Number 2, never, ever, 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 ever chase, and we don't do that. So EXCU, 3% new long signal. AAOI, 3.5% add signal.